What's going on, my Jets family? I want to thank you for tuning in to the Take Flight Spit and Fire podcast. So, let's talk about the Duane Brown situation, because that is an interesting situation that ties into AVT and ties into our head coach doing something freaking awesome. So, is Duane Brown playing this Sunday? We don't know. And you know what? That's a good thing. So, as you guys remember, we didn't know AVT was going to be playing left tackle this last Sunday. When they put him in at left tackle, remember, Jets Twitter was like, we were freaking out. We were like, oh, AVT's at left tackle. Everyone was like, oh my God, AVT's at left tackle, Herbig's at right guard. Man, I wish, I've been joking about this with a bunch of my other, buddies out in the Jets YouTube community. I wish, man, when AVT first came out and lined up at left tackle, I wish they would have taken the camera just for a second and panned it over to the Steelers' defensive coordinator. Man, I bet he was either cursing his head off or sweating bullets or both, because he wasn't ready for it. It was unpredicted. The Jets didn't tip their hand, and that's pretty much kind of the whole point of this. Robert Saleh did not tip his hand. They didn't know that was going to happen. They weren't prepared for that. They had to adjust and adapt on the fly, which is big. You don't always want to show your hand. Keep teams guessing, man. I like that. So after the game, excuse me, after Sunday's game, the beat reporters asked Robert Saleh about AVT being at left tackle, and man, I love it. Robert Saleh had a big, big smile on his face, and he said, well, he had a big smile on his face, and he's like, yeah, sorry I kept that from you guys. But he's not really sorry, and you know what? He shouldn't be, and we love it. That's what we want. I challenged it right after that. I was like, Coach, we love that. If you guys saw it on Twitter, I was like, Coach, we love that. That's awesome that you didn't show your hand, kept the Steelers guessing. I want to see him do it again, and you know what? He is. So is Duane Brown playing? Like we said, we don't 100% know. So we were before this week, into last week. Last week, Robert Saleh told us that Duane Brown was back on the sideline. He was working with trainers. He was basically doing everything but practicing. And we all remember that the biggest thing we loved about Duane Brown when we signed him is, yes, he's one of the best tackles to ever play the game. Dude is one of the best tackles to ever play the game. But he's also very durable. Right? We have to remember that for 2 years, and that was a big thing I pointed out because we had the whole, Mackay situation, obviously, with Duane Brown coming in as a signing. He had played full seasons in 2020 and in 2021. He hadn't missed a game in 2 years. That was huge. I love that, and he wound up on IR. So durability's always been on Brown's side. And so Robert Saleh, again, said last week he was pretty much back. We were going to find out this week. Well, he started practicing on Wednesday. So Duane Brown started practicing Wednesday. And now that he started practicing, that started the 21-day clock of him being activated or not activated. So so we were saying that Duane Brown, as of last week, Robert Saleh said he was doing everything but practicing. And this Wednesday, like we said, he's back at practice now, and his 21-day clock starts. They asked Robert Saleh, and Robert Saleh said, we'll see. He said that we have to, evaluate him today and tomorrow. And then he ended it with, we'll let everybody know Sunday. And man, I love that. That's, again, Robert Saleh is not showing his hand. So the Dolphins have to think, well, maybe Duane Brown will be there. And if he's there, it changes the whole dynamic of that offensive line, right? We know that really last week, the only weak link was Connor McGovern. Herbig was even okay. McGovern was the only weak link. So if Duane Brown is back, man, that offensive line is rolling. But they have to be prepared for both because Saleh is not tipping his hand. So, man, we said that we loved that he wasn't showing his hand, and he's doing it again. He said with Duane Brown, we'll find out Sunday. Now, Duane Brown also was interviewed yesterday, and I put it out on Twitter as well. Kind of interesting. It's almost like him and Saleh coordinated it. Because when they asked Brown if he'll play, he said, we'll see. That's exactly what Saleh said. So he started it by saying, we'll see. Then he said tomorrow, which today, it's today now. So Wednesday, yesterday, he said that today, once the pads go on, he'll get a better idea if he really is, able to go or not. And what was really cool at the end, they asked him if surgery was ever an option. Duane Brown said, yeah, surgery was an option, but I want to play. And man, that's awesome. So I think if it really was a serious enough injury where he couldn't play through it, he would get the surgery, clearly. But he knows he's not a young guy. He's 37 years old. This could be his potentially last year, right? He wants to play. He's made that decision. I can go. I'm ready to go. And again, this is one of the best tackles in the game. So he's always proven durable in the past, right? Last 2 years, hadn't missed a game. He said how he got hurt in, training camp and it was a fluke thing. And now he's good and he's ready to go. Here's what he said. He said we have to see how I look, when the pads go on. But based on all that information, again, Saleh saying that he's been doing everything except practicing. My take would be, barring any setbacks, once the pads went on, he's going to be a go. That he's going to play. But again, the beauty of it is we don't know. So just like AVT at left tackle, we didn't know that was going to happen, right? Saleh didn't show his hand. And again, he's not showing his hand. So regardless of how Duane Brown feels, we're not finding out till Sunday. So we are going to be surprised. And the Miami Dolphins are going to be surprised. And that's a big factor. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you could please subscribe to the channel, that'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. As you guys may or may not know, I do my live show Monday nights at 7 p.m. Please tune in. It's a great time. We have a great conversation. I love interacting with you guys in the chat. But thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you guys next time.